Hello and welcome to Jan's Rustic Life. In this video I'm going to take you to the French markets in Lucca. We'll be spinning on the balcony and there'll be a weaving update along with a magical evening spent on my balcony. As you've just seen, we've had some strange weather this year. It's been very sunny but rainy, but the plants are very grateful. And these plants were looking a bit dry not so long ago, so they've had a good drink of water. Because of the sun and the rain, we've got this beautiful rainbow. It was a double, but you can't really see it very well on the film. I wonder if there's some treasure at the end. Anyway, I went to Lucca, to the French markets, but I just quickly called in to the thrift shop first, the Mercatino dell'Usato. It's very overwhelming. I did want to buy some cones of wool. I bought some great ones there recently and I wanted to see if there's any more. There's so much here, it is overwhelming. I did find some, but I was literally on my hands and knees in a little corner, crawling along in the dust, and I found what I wanted, but I'll show you those in a future video. This place has everything though, but I think if you want to go there, it's best to have something specific in mind, because to be honest, you get carried away with everything. So after the vintage shop, I went to Lucca, parked at my car and walked to the walls. I crossed the road. It's a very busy road there, but I crossed the road via the subway, the little subway there. There's a bit of graffiti on the walls, but it's very clean. I always love this view though, when I come up the stairs. And there we have the walls that surround Lucca. It's a very overcast day today. The mountains you see in the background are where I've come from. Can you see what I'm wearing? I didn't manage to wear my remade thrifted dress because it wasn't quite finished, but I was wearing one of the dresses I made recently, along with a thrifted green jacket and a thrifted leather bag. Here we are inside the walls, and I'm going to take you to the French markets. It's just at the end of this road. It's a very famous road in Lucca, the Via Lungo. There's some amazing shops up here. At the end of the road, there is this piazza, my favourite piazza, Piazza San Michele. Look at that cloud. I need to get this done before it rains. It's not the piazza I'm going to today though. I'm going to the Piazza Napoleone. They do have concerts in the Lucca Music Festival in summer. Here are the French markets. Or here is the French market rather. Let's go and see what we can find. It was full of everything. These beautiful soaps, scents of lavender, clothes, tablecloths, everything there. I was after some beautiful bread and some nice cheeses, which I got. There's olive baguette, some macarons, and some cheese. This is Roquefort, but I did get some lovely brie and some other cheeses. I'm just trying them out here. I'm at home now, by the way. The baguette was absolutely amazing, but I decided to take a herbal tea and have a macaron out on my balcony because the day back home was very warm and sunny, beautiful. Delicious. Just having one today. I'm going to ration myself. It's led to a beautiful evening on my balcony. The weather was warm and balmy just sat out. I'd eaten something. I normally don't sit out of an evening, but it was just so magical this evening that I thought I would. I'm not one to listen to opera music on my balcony, but I just felt that it was right. So I put some opera music on, because this is the land of opera here where I live, and it was just amazing, relaxing and magical, and I felt very lucky to actually live where I live. Look at that view. Feeling refreshed, I decided to do some spinning the next day. In actual fact, I had to do some spinning because a friend of mine had given me some fibre, some lovely fibre, and said I can keep half. We did a deal, I can keep half, and if I could spin the other half up, she wanted to give it to somebody. Look at the colour, it's absolutely beautiful. It was quite a soft fibre, almost like merino, but not quite, but very soft. I always spin in bare feet. So I'm just breaking this piece of fibre up a little bit first before I start. I haven't spun for a little while, so part of me was thinking, don't want to mess up with this because I need the practice, and part of me was really excited to do some spinning. The weather was good, so I spent quite some time spinning on my balcony for a very relaxing morning. It was while I was spinning though, I got to thinking, I haven't actually done any sewing for a while. Not since I fixed my thrifted dress that you can see in another video. By making my own clothes, is it any more sustainable than going out to the shops and buying them? Yes, I can choose my fabric. I can choose fabrics which are more sustainable. But if I'm making my clothes just because I see something and think, oh, I want that, I'm going to make it, I don't actually need it. Is that actually living sustainably? It's not really much more sustainable than going out and buying clothes from the shops whenever I see something and think, oh yes, I like that, I've got to have it. I have for a long time been living, mainly on my part because I'm on a very tight budget, but living quite frugally and looking at items, do I really need that? Now, making my own clothes gives me the opportunity to get a better fit, to get more the style that fits me and suits me better. Fabrics I can choose. But if I'm just making things just because I decide I want them, that to me isn't sustainable. So what I'm trying to do now is make use of the wardrobe that I have, take a look at my clothes and decide if I can change them to fit me better. I do though want to make a white blouse. I was inspired to do some more sewing recently because it was my birthday. One of my gifts was an absolutely amazing perfume that I just thought, white shirt and jeans in the autumn, I'll feel very elegant. So I will be choosing a pattern. I haven't actually, believe it or not, got a pattern for a plain white shirt excuse me, in my pattern stash, even though I managed to find a lot of pre-loved patterns. So I'm looking for a classic white shirt pattern or a classic shirt pattern that I can make in white that will be part of my autumn wardrobe. That worn with my lovely perfume, I'll feel, well, very elegant. Anyway, that's my spinning done for now. Put my shoe back on. I am just taking some weaving that I've been doing off my loom. Now this is one long piece and it's some cotton panels. I'm trying to revamp my son's room. My son doesn't live with me, but for his room when he does stay. I have some shelves and I wanted to just hang some panels down to cover some of his clothes. If he has his clothes folded on the shelves, these will cover the clothes. So I've woven some patterns. They didn't quite go to plan. Sometimes things don't. I was getting too fancy. I wanted to do a woven pattern where the stripes are. The stripes are fine, but the woven pattern was a bit loose, and so it wasn't quite how I'd envisioned the finished item. But anyway, they're handmade and sturdy, so they should do the trick. I need to paint the shells first, so that will be the subject of an update. Now this is when weaving goes wrong. This is some of the thrifted wool I found in the past. The pale yellow is the new one. The dark yellow was an old thrifted yarn that I bought, but it was too flimsy for the loom to use as a warp and it broke. So I had to try and in-weave the lighter colour that I bought, and it's working, but I'll have to sew in the long bits at the back when the time comes. But this is now working nicely. I wanted a cobweb effect, and it's done in some mohair, soft mohair yarn with silk in the pink and the brown, and the yellow was soft, but it's not anymore. Thank you for watching my video today. I'm very grateful for your support. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to hear about my new videos when they're out. If you'd also consider buying me a coffee, there is a link just in the corner of this video. This helps me to buy some much needed materials so that I can craft and show you what I've made. See you next time.